Good morning, everyone. I know today is not our regular live day, but I've had so many people ask about resin. I really just wanted to go ahead and share it because it's so hard to keep up with all the questions. And it was definitely something for me that, like I was kind of seeing around a little bit, learning a little bit about it, and I was like, you know what, I'm curious. And I've had so many people respond to my posts about resin and been like, oh, I'm so curious about this. This is something I definitely want to get into. So I really just wanted to do a quick live to be able to share with you guys what I have learned, that I am not an expert in it, not even close, but as you know, I've been working on it for a couple of weeks, but I've really enjoyed learning about it. All right, so what I started off with was I just went on to Amazon and was able to find these 2 containers of resin. The reason I'm not picking them up is because they're super sticky, and I'll explain that in a minute. All right, so we have these two different ones, and one says side A and this one says side B. And so you get 2 different solutions, and what it is you take these 2 solutions and you put them together and mix them, and when they harden, they become like a hard plastic. Okay, but they look like glass. They're just beautiful. So they look like glass, but they are just, they're like plastic, okay? And so you mix the 2 solutions. So you mix it half and half, like you have to do the same amount of each one, mix it together, and you have to be very thorough about mixing it, but you kind of don't want to go too fast because it also causes bubbles. So like I said, I'm not an expert in it, so if you guys have any tips, if anybody has done resin before and you have a few tips, let us know about whatever tips you have, so then the other people who are interested will be able to learn from that too. All right, so you want to mix kind of slow, but you got to mix thoroughly, and what happens is if you do not, so like I said, if you mix too fast, you get bubbles, right? But you do have to mix it all because otherwise you will start having problems. So these are the 2 problems I came across. One of them was because I had used a bigger container with more in it. I didn't mix around the bottom and the edges as much. And so what happened is the whole top part became solid, really good and solid. But unfortunately, the bottom part was gooey and a mess. And I actually, I wasn't sure what to do with it. So I kind of just set it aside for a day, hoping that maybe it would harden now that it was out of the mold. And so what I've actually done is that didn't work. And so what I've actually done is I've taken it and put it into just a soap solution, hoping that that extra gooiness will come off, and maybe I might be able to save the rest of it. I don't know. We'll see what happens there. So the other problem that I came across realizing was, with me, I don't always do exacts, right? So like I said, you've got to do one part, they got to be even when you mix it together. You got to do the same amount of one as the other and mix them together, right? So the problem is I started being like, oh, it's probably not that big of a deal, I'll just estimate. And so I did that, and all of my things came out flimsy. Here, let me see. I think this one's one of them. Okay, so it's not showing. But what happened is the flat ones like this, you were able to bend them. They were kind of squishy, and whatever part of the mold was sticking up was also kind of sticky too. So you definitely want to make sure that you are being careful. Now, one of the solutions is really liquidy and the other one's a lot more thick. So I encourage once more that you have some kind of tool that when you're mixing them and making sure that they're even, that you make sure to scoop everything out to make sure you're still getting the even amounts. So so you just gotta be careful with that. All right, so like I said, when I started, there's a lot of people who are wondering where I got my stuff from. So like I said, I started checking out Amazon. So I got these 2, and these ones were about $20 to $25 was kind of the range that I was looking at. And as you might be able to see, I don't know if you guys can see, but I still have, a little bit left there, probably enough to do one more set of these. So when I finished all the ones that I had, I kind of counted them out, and it looks like you can get about 60 necklace items out of this one set for $20. So I thought that was great. And then also I have most of my molds here that I got, and these were all in one kit. So I mean, there was a bracelet. Now this bracelet is actually too small for adults. So it's definitely a kid-size bracelet. There was one ball. There's lots of different little items, and there's lots of different options of what kind of molds to get. This one actually is absolutely my favorite. That's why I used it in the example to show you guys. It just comes out pretty every time. It just can't even help it. This one was also a really nice one that I really like. As you can see, it comes out really pretty too. I got quite a few bubbles in that one, so I probably mixed that one a little too much. All right, and then it also comes with this set, which is kind of fabulous, where we can get lots of different necklace shapes and sizes out of it. All right, and so mostly what happens is I end up mixing the solution, you know, mixing the two together, getting it all good mixed up. And it's nice to kind of have an idea of what you're going to do with it, you know, like what items you want to put in, you know, make sure to like look through it and decide what you're going to put where, because you only have 40 minutes. Okay, and pretty much anything that you are using. So in the kits, they actually came with like little stirring things. I actually threw out a lot of it because, like I said, once you use it, it's kind of unusable again. And it comes with a little spoon. It comes with little, what are they called? Like eyedroppers type thing, pepits or whatever they're called. It comes with those, which makes it a lot easier to be able to put things in and like have control over what you're doing. So those all come with it, but they're disposable. Like once you use them, you can't use them again. Like they become gooey, they become gross, they become too hard. You can't get things in and out. So there's a big portion of it that is disposable, and pretty much any area you're working in, you want to make sure you cover it good. Because I was working in an area and now I have a couple of globs that I wasn't paying too close attention because, as I said, everything kind of gets like stuck, sticky, and doesn't move. And my whole area that I was working on, the whole workspace I'd set up, pretty much became unusable. And so it kept on pushing out, and then I ended up getting some on my brand new disc. So that's your warning. Make sure you lay something down, cover the whole area. One lady had suggested those, you know, just going to the dollar store and getting one of those tablecloths just to cover the area. So let me think. Did anybody have any questions? Let me quickly check because so many people had questions. Hi, Carmen. All right. I don't see any questions. All right, let me just double check. One of the fun things that I did that I wanted to share with you guys because it's super easy. So let me see if I can reach them from here. So I went to the dollar store and got these little shot glasses. Now these were a bit of a pain in the butt to get off. I'll be honest, you know, prepared to possibly get injured. But so they're just these little shot glasses, right? And so I did put some resin in and got the shells. And so I'll show you what I use for shells and stuff in a minute. And so I put the resin in and then I balanced the paper clip there. And then you can use it to hold notes, to hold pictures. How cute is that? And then it has the shells inside. So, and you could definitely fill it up more and stuff like that to give it a little bit more height. One of the other ideas I had, and I know a lot of the ladies I'm friends with, they have items that they sell too. And so I thought this was really cute. So I got these, I think I got these from Walmart, and they weren't too expensive. I think it was like 6 of them for like $2 or something. So then you'd be able to like write prices, write what things are, and it's just like a cute little stand for it that's, you know, nice and pretty, super easy. All right, and so where I got my shells was actually the dollar store. So they had these little jars, okay? And they're just super, super cute. And they are absolutely full of shells. So honestly, I think these ones come with like 50 in them. These ones come with a little bit less because they're more unique shells, like unique shapes and stuff like that. And they have like ones that have more white in them, ones that have more dark in them, so you can go get variety. But even just getting these two, I found that like I was able to do a lot with just them. You can also add sparkles. Actually, the set of molds that I got came with sparkles. These ones are a little large, but these came in there, and you can add them in. So pretty much you end up pouring your resin and then adding little things in. Just pay attention because there is some things that end up floating. So I haven't fully figured out that, like I've tried to push them down, but if you guys have good suggestions for doing that, maybe wait a little bit and pour some more later. If anybody's tried that, you know, let me know. I haven't gotten that far yet, but I found that and I use stickers in it. One of the ideas that I also had, because they're so little, was, let me see. Let me see if I can. Was 3D nail stickers. And so once more, I got these on Amazon, and they're meant to be decorative for your nails. Here, there's some pictures in the back I can show you. This is supposed to be little pictures you can add onto your nails, but I added those in some of the necklaces. Let's see if I can find one. find one to show you guys. All right, trying not. So let's see if we can focus in on it. It's having trouble, but as you can see, there's a little Christmas tree, holly berries. Yeah, it's having trouble focusing in, but it's just like super small pictures that you're able to add on. So I used stickers. I used some flowers, as you can see. Wow, that's really not zooming in good for you guys. All right, some flowers. And honestly, the shells are my favorite, and this was one of my favorite molds. So these ones, all right, so I'll try and show you what that one looks like. And it actually has where you can turn around. And I'll try and post some pictures so you guys can see these a little bit better, because it does not seem to be, oh, that's a little bit better. All right, so we got the shells in there. And so these ones come in these kind of molds, okay? They're long and thin, okay? And these are a nightmare to get out. So that's my warning, is they are beautiful. I absolutely love how they come out, but it's really difficult. So I ended up using toothpicks, because what happens is when you put in these items, so I use the shells in there, right? So the problem is like they're solid items, right? And so what happens is they end up blocking, and so none of the liquid actually gets down in there. So I ended up using a toothpick to pry things away from the edge and had to, you know, readjust them. So maybe if you're doing something like this, where I was able to fit 3 tiny shells in there, is put in one shell, pour some resin, put in the other, pour in some resin, put in the last, and then pour in some resin, and just make sure, you know, to mix it around before it starts hardening at all. So like I said, you get about 40 minutes, and that's it. Like, everything starts turning gooey. Anything you do, you start getting worried is not gonna like fall flat again. So yeah, and then on top of that, so it's really hard to avoid getting bubbles. And I had one that I didn't get all the bubbles out, and so there was just like these gaps in it, and that was not fun. So I ended up just tossing that one out, because it just looked awful. And then the other thing is, it's really hard to get them out, right? So you have to like push from the bottom while opening the top and get it out enough that you can actually like wiggle it out. But I had one, like this one, that I actually snapped in half while trying to do that. So it's definitely, so if anybody, you know, has tried a resin and you guys have a technique that works, but every other lady that I've heard, they've said that they're just a nightmare and that they're really hard on the hands. So that's your warning, is they are really cute, but they're not easy. The other thing I do want to touch on is there's actually 2 different, they have 2 different things for having more encased resin. So what we have here is just a sphere, right? And so it's just a ball, and it just has the top. Okay, and so it stretches, so I just broke it. It stretches, so then you guys can actually get the stuff out. So I don't know how I just broke that, but oh, whatever's. So normally it just stretches, and then you're able to get the stuff out, right? So you're able to fill it up. You can fill it all the way to the top if you'd like. I've actually left a little bit, so then I can flip it over, and then it will be a flat surface there, so then it can stand, right? So the other way they have of doing it is that there's 2 pieces, right? And so you have the bottom and the top, and there's a spot that will leave it open to be able to fit your string through, and they're supposed to go together. Okay, so I actually have 2 like this. All right, so this one worked out great. Okay, so you just fill it to the top, and often what happened is, you know, like, you do the best you can about filling it, but there was bubbles left over. And so what I would do is, my next set of resin, I would fill in the bubbles. So I'd just leave it aside until I was working on resin again, and then I'd just add a couple of drops to just let it fill in, right? So so that one was all right, but this one I had more problems with. And so what happened was, I kept on putting more liquid in, but there were still like huge bubbles, and I was like, what is going on? And I realized that it was actually like seeping out, you know, and coming out the sides. And so I think maybe the mold just wasn't fully correctly done, but it definitely made a bit more of a mess. But luckily it all peeled off pretty easily. So that's what happened with all the ones that I did with this one. Let me see if I can find my other example. No, I don't see it. But as you can possibly see, is there's like bubbles in this one too. Okay, and it had like resin all around the outside, just like thinner, that I was able to peel off, but I've actually cleaned up most of my mess now, so I don't have the example to show you. All right, so that's mostly it. I'm just gonna double check again for any questions, because I'm mostly doing this so then I can answer any questions that people have. Let me see. Oh, I also did another thing, which was just covering magnets. So I just got these magnets from the dollar store, right? Just basic ones. Okay. And then I used stickers and some cutout paper to be able to do these two. Okay. So the sticker was great. So literally just took the sticker off, stuck it on the magnet, and then just dripped a little bit and just kind of spread it around a little bit, because if you have it too high, too thick, then of course it drips off and then it gets a little bit harder to get off of wherever you have it set. This one with the paper, I actually found that I did have problems with the paper floating a bit. So, you know, once more, I don't have a full solution for that. But if you're probably not able to see it, but it's sticking out just a touch. All right, so I think that is everything. Oh, hold on. Do you have to sand and buff these items after you take them out of the molds? Yeah, like I would definitely suggest this. Some of them are quite sharp, so I haven't gotten to that stage yet. But yeah, I definitely think that you would want to sand these down because they are pretty sharp. So I would totally, yeah, definitely do that. And really it's just on the edges. So it's like on the fronts, it's usually fine, but on the back where you've poured it in and it's set, that's where it gets sharp. And it's pretty much on almost every item that you make, there will be one area that will be sharp edges. So don't just hand it to kids because it's really sharp. Okay. I think that is everything. If you guys still have questions, go ahead and post them and I'll see what I can do for answering them the best I can. And hopefully some other ladies who are experienced around here will be able to help answer them too. And I hope you guys are all having a wonderful day and we'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.